Hello and welcome to Hero Wars Info. My name is Ryan. Starting a couple minutes early, this is my first live stream for anyone who wants to join. Not sure how many I'm going to have, honestly, but we'll do what we can with everyone that does decide to jump on. So thanks so much for being here. Really, my plan is I'm just going to go through normal daily tasks. There are a few updates in Hero Wars that I also want to go through and talk about, and then I'm happy to answer any questions as I just go through my dailies, as well as I know this is going to sound terrible, but the dungeon. I want to get into that a little bit and kind of give you some strategy slash some ways that if you do have advanced titans, how you can go infinite dungeon, what they say, or as far as you possibly can. So feel free to ask any questions throughout. I will be trying to look at the chat to make sure that if anyone does have any questions that are specific to their teams, anything like that, that we can get those answered. But let's go ahead and jump in. So let's start. First off, about 30 minutes ago, actually, we got a new announcement. Chaba. We talked about this on a few other videos. Chaba's Ascension is going to be happening next week. And it is going to be offering an extra powerful new skin for Chaba as a reward. Extra powerful is kind of an interesting way to say. I'm wondering if they're going to do like a skin plus, like something where it's one of the Lara skins or something like that are like kind of double skins. That's the only way I can think of it, because they say extra powerful, where I guess they would just say powerful if it was just like a regular skin, something like that. So not sure exactly what they're going to be offered. One person in one of my comments in a previous video mentioned that what if they did if they do Lara skins, what if they put them in the Seers game? And now this actually makes me super worried that the extra powerful new skin is going to be offered as the Seers game prize. So just so everyone knows, the Seers game is a mobile-only event right now. It's about to come to Hero Wars Dominion Era. And it is a game that is pretty much gambling. They're going to be shown 4 cards. One of them is going to be bad, meaning you lose. The other 3 will give you a reward. Then eventually those 3 cards go to 2, or those 4 cards go to 3 with 1 bad. And then eventually I think it either goes to 2 or it increases the chances of a bad card by 1 more. So it's like only a 33% chance to get something good. So yeah, it's going to be, if that is a reward for the event, it's going to be pretty hard to get. Oh, it looks like someone already mentioned. Hello, I must struggle with is Totem Fusion. I've got the Light and Dark Totem maxed. I don't know which skills is best for those. I plan to work on it tomorrow's Titan Tournament event. Yeah, that's a common question. The Totem Fusion doesn't really have a lot of clarity right now. I'm happy to give you my opinion, but I'll walk through this and then I'll come back to that spooky if that works for you. All right, so looks like we do have the Ascension abilities, where the Glutton's Gratitude on Ascension rank 2, which is every time Chaba gets healed, his physical attack increases for the rest of the battle. Okay, doesn't seem to be terrible, especially if you heal him a lot. It could be good. Then next up, Fast Food on Ascension rank 5. Wild Hunger skill will cost only 75% of energy instead of 100%. Okay. But it's not all about Chaba's Ascension skills. He'll also receive Fat Layer upgrade. Chaba's armor boost from his Fat Layer will be doubled. So let's go ahead and jump into Chaba real quick. I actually have an opinion as to why they're doing this. I think they're trying to make him very good against physical teams, specifically Lyria. That's my best guess. If you're giving him more armor, you're giving him more physical attack, more healing, things like that, then he is probably going to be a tank that is going to try to be good against Lyria, so that Lyria has more counters, since Lyria is pretty much the meta right now. Not 100% sure if that's how it's going to end up, but it will be interesting to do some testing whenever the new Chaba comes out. So those that don't know, the Chaba currently, the main ability is they swallow the current target for 6 seconds. So the person at the front of the line, usually the tank, just going to eat them up so that they can keep on going to the next person. It only happens for a little bit. Then burp is just to damage them nearby and slowing them down for 4 seconds. And then increases armor proportionally to missing health for the fat layer, which is going to be doubled. And then bottomless belly. Now Chaba restores health by digesting the swallowed enemy. So it's just going to make them harder to kill, basically, is what looks like the new Ascension stuff is going to be doing. I don't know if it's going to be enough to actually make him good, but I will say I am happy that they're starting to upgrade these lesser known or not as good heroes. That's what I would want to see in Ascension. Like, as much as I want my heroes who I already have ascended, it makes more sense to ascend some of these worse heroes, change them, put them a little bit more where they're usable. Because there's a lot of heroes right now where you're not under almost any circumstances. Chaba is one of those. I want to see a game where they actually decide to increase those heroes so that they become viable. Make it a little bit more interesting. Change some combos up where there's not only one meta. So hopefully we'll see something about that. I'll do some testing around this whenever it does come out, which will be starting on August 22nd, so about a week from now, a little bit less. Hey, MS Creator, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Now, we also got a little bit of an update for the new Lara. What we heard is that it was going to be happening around the same time as the Sears game. Yeah, I get that. It's aesthetic. Yeah, it's not very good. I don't know why anyone wants to build out a fat Jabba the Hutt. But talking about the Lara event, they said it's going to happen around the same time. That people missing Lara Croft from their roster will be able to get her. Now, Hero Wars Guide has come out and said it looks like they added an invasion event for Lara. Invasion typically means that the style of events with a storyboard will remove along a path. He doesn't really know yet if it's going to be like the Hero Stall, which I'm kind of hoping for. I like the Hero Stall events. I think they're a lot more fun. I think it's easier to move through them. It doesn't take nearly as long. He doesn't know if it's going to be that or if it's going to be the old Lara event or something similar where you have to find the best team and you have to keep on fighting to get them to a place where you can finally crack the code and beat them with the least amount of energy. I hope they don't go back to that. That is not the best way to do it, in my opinion. I like what they've done with the Hero Stalls, so that's kind of what I'm hoping for there. But I'll let you know as soon as there is any update on what that event is going to look like. But those who don't have Lara Croft will hopefully be able to get her pretty easily. Hopefully they don't make it a paid option. And hopefully they don't, if she does have new skins, which is possible. They did that on mobile where she had new skins. But if they do have new skins, then I really hope that they are also not for only money, but I'm pretty sure that would be the case. Yeah. So, all right. Looks like we get a few more comments here. Brother, I have 820 total Titan potions, 320 Titan skin stones. Suggest me something. I have fighter totem. He is new. All right. So that's a decent amount of materials. Obviously, let's talk about that real quick. Yeah, I wonder if we'll be able to win a totem. They have said that they're going to start to give away more totems. So hopefully, Spooky, you're right, that you will be able to win a totem in that Chaba Lara event. What if that was like a grand prize for the Sears? Like, that would really push people to do the gambling quite a bit too, So maybe that's what they're going to be doing. We'll see. We don't have a lot of information about it yet, only what mobile's done. But okay, for your creation, MS Creator, number one, make sure you use them on the right day. That day is going to be whenever the Power of the Titans and Tournament of Titan Power are going on at the same time. So you want to August 18th, really August 19th, that day is whenever you can start to use those materials in full. Do not use them tomorrow because it will only hit one event. So that's the most important thing. Now, in terms of your Titan potions and skin stones, you have a fire totem. I'm assuming it's probably a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star since you're new. I would be obviously spending the Titan potions on your primary fire Titans. if I do a Raji to 51 to 126 level, will that be good? It will be good, but it probably is going to be better spent doing a mix between Araji and Moloch, because your tank is super important. He's going to be taking the most damage. Making sure that he is as strong as possible is going to be very helpful. So I would probably be splitting between Araji and Moloch whenever this comes around. For the Titan Skin Stones, I mean, we can quickly take a look here. Let's do this real quick. And I'll just show you mine, because Fire is my second team, but honestly, I think Fire might, with the new Titan Fusion, might become the best. Might become the best element. It's already pretty powerful. If you can pick the right ones, I'm kind of fairly convinced it's going to move up in the rankings. But you have the elemental armor and health. Elemental armor is going to be pretty big too. Elemental damage is nice, and attack is very good for him, but so is health. So what I would do is the health and the attack are more important than the elemental armor and the elemental damage. So level those up first, health and attack. And again, I would probably split it, creator, around those two. And I would split the Titan potions around those two as well. Yeah, so just make sure that you're waiting until Power of the Titan starts, so that you can get that upgrade any skin 40 times and upgrade any Titan level 80 times. You want to max those out. That will help you in getting rewards for this event, and it will help you in actually winning this tournament of Titan Power potentially. Okay, let's see. Was there other news? We talked about the Lara. Still pretty not a lot of information there. Yeah, happy to tell you more about me. So I've been at Hero Wars for 2.5 years. I about 4 months ago decided to start just a channel, and it was really just for fun. You know, I kind of saw a niche there where I'm one of those people that I want to be hyper efficient in Hero Wars. I want to be the person who is making sure I'm maximizing all my resources. I've done that with every single game I've been in, tried to find optimal strategy, and I was looking for content, and I did not find that much useful content. There are some good content creators, but I wanted someone who would just be talking to me about the most efficient, who is really into the game. And you know, I'm one of those people that is like, I don't play very many other games besides Hero Wars. Like it is my primary game. That's the reason I created the channel, just for fun. And I wanted to be able to help people out and figuring out how they can be as efficient as well, how they can succeed at the game, especially like free-to-play players. I know it can be a pretty daunting task to say, hey, I'm going to be free to play. How do I still compete? So learning how to get an edge up and kind of the intricacies of the game can help you do that. And hopefully my tips help. And what I'm talking about will help anyone that has questions. You know, that's kind of what I'm here for, you know, going over topics. What I'm actually planning on doing soon is I am going to be doing a video series on every single hero, probably one on every single Titan after that. It's going to be a deep dive into their specific abilities, what they're good at, who they're strong against, who they're weak against, what type of team you want to build with them. And it's just going to be focused on that hero. And I should have a video for each individual hero, as to like that, right? How good they are, how bad they are, and if you should build them out, and kind of how I rank them. Yeah, so that's kind of me in a nutshell. I'm pretty passionate about the game. I'm one of those people that is crazy. Yeah, as you mentioned, Spooky. I watch Hero Wars Central as well, because there isn't a lot of content. He seems to have the best, especially aesthetics, and he knows what he's talking about. He's really good at being professional. Like I really appreciate that. I don't find him very knowledgeable of the game. He has been playing it for a long time, but he plays a lot of games, and I think that is where hopefully I'm a differentiator. Is that like I play this game a ton. And I'll just kind of give you an example here in terms of being a crazy. Like let's take a look, and I've actually recently scaled back because it was just too much. But let's go to overview and statistics and Titanite. So for a long time, for about 2 months straight, I was getting close to 4,000, 4,500 Titanite per day. And that's, if you haven't done that before, let me tell you, that's about 4 hours in the dungeon a day. And I don't do bots. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm not a cheater. I try to just find the best and go from it from there. And that's why I kind of want to talk about dungeon later on in the stream, is because I am super focused on, look, if there's resources that you can get, let's talk about it. Let's figure out how you can get those resources and give you a leg up. And I'll kind of give you my spiel on the dungeon. And even though it's probably the most boring form of Hero Wars, and trust me, it is boring. After 4 hours each day, I try to have something else on when I'm doing it, right? So, like, if I'm working from home and there's a meeting that I don't really need to be on, but I can just be on the background, I'll just be dungeoning it up, going through it, something like that, you know. I appreciate it. I appreciate you finding my content helpful. That's what I try to do. You know, I want to get into more specifics. I want to get into a little bit more of the niche strategies, how you can be outthinking your opponents. So, creator, brother for Dorian, can you give me some guide? I have a few resources. Well, lucky for you, Dorian doesn't require a lot of resources to be good. He's one of the least intensive heroes to level up. Now, because I like to max my ranks, I do have him pretty close to max besides some Ascension stuff. But really what you need for him is this right here. This initiation increases vampirism of nearby allies. This is where probably 90% of his value comes from. You know, he can do a little bit of damage, do some healing with some of his other abilities. But this is going to be the biggest thing. So MS Creator, especially if he is part of your main team, my strategy would be leveling this up to max as soon as possible, and then working on the other ones. I think you said you had like an Orion, Augustus, Nebula, and Aurora team. Don't focus on Dorian. Get that up to max. You can actually level all these up to max. Then you work on the others. Work on the others. Those are going to be much more important than the rest of the heroes. And you're saying prioritize health, yeah, because there is this. Dorian sacrifices 20% of his current health and heals an ally with the lowest. So that is a good point, Spooky. That is also an additional healing ability. This is going to be the most. This is the second most. And he does have a healing skin, which is probably going to be the priority in terms of leveling him up. And Matt Master, yeah, 3,000 Titanite. It was very exhausting. It is exhausting. So I've moved back, actually. I've decided to only do 2,500 per day, or basically to get to the first point of where the dungeon starts to decrease your healing, which is close to 2,600. So that's where I go every day. I'm going to keep on doing that until I actually have maxed out my Titans. And then I am going to shut down the dungeon pretty severe. Because once I've finished getting all of these to max, which I'm closer than you think, there's not really that much reason unless you need gold to do the dungeon, because it gets you Titan potions, it gets you gold. Those are the two biggest things. And it can get you like soul stones too. But I mean, if you've spent a year and a half in this game, all of your Titans should be maxed in terms of the level here. So, or not level, but the star level. So yeah. It's as soon as that's done, my dungeon is going to become increasingly less. Like, that's kind of my goal. I'm going to say just try to get there as fast as possible so I can stop doing dungeon almost entirely. My server is full of Kayla, Aiden. They kill my heroes so fast. Yeah, Kayla will do that. Kayla will do that to a weak Dorian. Health will help there too. Luckily, Orion is pretty good against Kayla as long as he's not being targeted early, just because his AoE can do a decent amount of damage there. Hi, Woonlimji. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, for Spooky, problem is the guild might not be happy if a member stopped grinding the dungeon. I'm not going to stop completely. I'm still going to, I still always have the, what I consider the best spend right here for the Valkyrie's favor. I'll go ahead and collect that since I haven't started it. So I'll get the 150. I'll get the bonus with my prestige for an additional 75 that you get right here. But other than that, I'll probably get to maybe 500 to 600 per day. That will take 10 minutes, something like that, with how fast I am. And then I'll go from there. What level are my Titans at? Good question. So I have a few completely maxed out Titans. And I have these Titans right here that are not max level. But if you actually look, I have over 2 million Titan potions. That's because I'm in the dungeon so freaking much. So this upcoming Titan Tournament of Power, I kind of feel bad for the people who are up close to me because I'm gonna actually my plan. I'm gonna level up Brewster, then probably Rigel, and then probably Mort is my thinking, and then I'll probably go back to Avalon, Silva, and then these two, which I consider the least. But I most of my Titans, I started with a water team, built out a little bit of a nice light with that, and then I went fire as my second element. You had a question about running Dante, Celeste, Lyria, and the 5 members of Osh team. Am I on the right track? Thanks. Yeah, that's a decent mix. So Dante, Celeste, Lyria, Nebula, Sebastian, Isaac, Martha, and are you doing Zhu or are you doing Lara? If you're doing Lara, much better. Zhu is kind of focused on, he's good against bosses. I would change that to Lara because Lara is actually better with Osh too. So I would change that there. Since I'm struggling against Heidi and the Dante, Nebula and Augustus, Orion, and Dorian lineup. Yeah, if you're struggling against Heidi, like the Augustus, Orion, Dorian is pretty solid against Heidi, depending on who the rest is there. There are some other solutions like a Corvus, who's pretty good against Heidi. But Heidi is annoying, which is the reason I actually built Heidi up, because of how annoying Heidi is. And then why didn't you add the game screen too? This can help us understand properly. Oh gosh, am I not sharing my screen? Wow. I thought this whole time I am. Sorry, everyone. Here we go. There you go. My bad. This is my first stream, right? So we're going to be working some things out. Okay. Yeah. So what I was talking about right here is this is where my Titans are currently at, as I was mentioning. I'll probably start on Brewster and Rigel during the next event. And you can see here that we go into one of these 2 million skin potions. Kira is good for Heidi and Satori. Can be, but Heidi can still dodge some of Kira. So I try to avoid using physical attacks against Heidi because that can just charge her up too. Her or him. I'm not exactly sure if that is a her or him. But yeah, thanks for the questions. Keep them coming. Happy to answer them. Sorry my screen wasn't sharing beforehand. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the dailies, walk through what I normally do. Hopefully this will be some decent input around like what I do. So I actually do every day buy up to 150 on this energy. Reason I do that is I almost always get first in arena. That is going to give you a 650 emeralds per day. That's going to basically negate the cost there. Now, I'm trying to spend as little as possible in this game. I do spend some. I'm not a fan of excess spending. Yes, I could spend a ton potentially and kind of have a better pay to win, but that's not really what I'm about. I'm more about, hey, how can you be as sufficient with the resources that you do have? And then make sure the resources that you do need or that are kind of important that you might not get, like a Lara skin, if it does come out, we'll see, you would still be able to get. So I'm going to go ahead and spend the rest of my energy. I don't like having it at max just because I like it filled out all the way so that it can keep on increasing. So I'm trying to get some Shining Armor, Radiant Armor, used to be Shining Armor, and Lycanthrope's Fang. And we can go ahead and create another one of those. Cool. Okay. When dealing with Dante, Nebula, Augustus, Orion, and Dorian, does Aiden solve the problem? No, not really Aiden. There's a very good team against that. If you have Isaac and Sebastian, that's kind of the first key. Then I would pretty much use either Aurora or a Heidi against them. Aurora and Heidi are very good against Dante. Very good. They basically increase the dodge chance of your entire team, which means that the rest of your team is going to be able to dodge. Now, I will say on that, I will put a Axel on Isaac to make sure he can't die immediately. And I usually put a Albus on Sebastian just for more damage. Do you know where we can find the total resources to build Lara Croft, skin stones, artifacts? Good question. I don't have a total resource guide, though. I think I actually did see one somewhere. Let me see if I can find it a little bit later for you. I know she has like 2 super skins, so the skins are a little bit different. They cost pretty much double what normal skins would do. So I don't have a full amount of every resource. I think the thing I saw actually was just her items. I think that's it. One of the nice things about Lara Croft too is this expedition expert, though. That's a really nice skill, just to give you an extra expedition. And then I prefer Lara Croft, but my concern is she's agility based, so I don't have enough ascension materials. That makes sense. Still worth it though. She's better than Zhu. And you can wait on ascension materials. You can still get those in the future, but she's better than Zhu. I would definitely do that. For Fire Totem Fusion, which skills are good? I'm going to get to that in just a little bit, MS Creator. I'll be talking about Fusion too. So let's go ahead, get some of this stuff started. And I might be moving fast here, but that's just because this is what I do on a daily basis. Generally, I think you can play Hero Wars if you're not doing dungeon in an hour or so, or probably significantly less time. Like you can do it in 15 minutes, but then I always suggest logging on multiple times today so you can get the energy. You can get all that good stuff that comes along with it. We are still upgrading Corvus. We'll just put 1 into there. I don't upgrade more than 1 because I wait for the Hero Tournament of Power there, but I still want to get my daily reward. Can you show your hero's power? Sure. Yeah. Total hero power, 6.16, 57 on my server. But because I built up the right heroes, I will always be pretty high in both the Grand Arena and the Arena. Like you can see here, I was number 1 for a while, then a lot of failures against my defense, went from there. Let's go ahead and actually do one of these. Let's, so like really quick here. This is a perfect, you have the Dante, Nebula, Orion, Augustus, Dorian line. I'm going to use this team. We'll see how it does. That will probably be pretty good against it, especially with Rufus potentially not dying. And let's see how it did. I lost, but nope, looks like I lost that one. I think I usually win that battle, but and this one also lost. Interesting. That one should be pretty close too. If I had Chorus there, I bet I would have won that one. All right, let's go to Outland, get some of these soul stones, the daily soul stones. And if you're talking about like individual hero power, I personally, my quote unquote, whenever they're fighting ready, once you get to max level, and I don't want to push anyone who's like not max level, anything like that, because if you're still early in the game, fighting ready is going to mean very different. But 150,000 is kind of the power that I look at to actually potentially be in a team to be effective. That's kind of my general guideline because I'm facing almost all max teams out on my server. If you're on a new server, that's going to be completely different, right? Like you can see here, first place there. But like if we look at these teams, like it's going to be all maxed out heroes. So 150 is basically where I try to be at. How much money you are? I've spent, I would say, an average of probably 30 to 40 bucks a month on average. Some, like I haven't spent any this month besides the Valkyrie's Favor. But I'm not a crazy spender. I just like to optimize my resources and make sure that the events, specifically the new hero events, those are crazy good, guys. Like those are the ones that are most important into making sure that you can compete because it will give you a ton of stuff. And then even stuff like this, right? In the dungeon, I'm not opening every chest, but the stuff that I need, like the Dragon's Heart, I know I need that. Oh, you're talking about the 1.3 billion gold? Is that what you're talking about, Matt Master? Yeah. So that is actually from the dungeon. Once you get as far in the dungeon as me, and I'm going to show that later in the stream too. I'm going to be going into the dungeon whether you like it or not, and I'm going to be showing people what my strategy is and what I do. The dungeon is basically a unlimited money hack once you get to the higher levels. But it's also harder to get to the higher levels unless you have higher Titans. And it's hard to do that unless you have the totems. So the totems is kind of where everything started. Whenever I started, I kind of prioritized what I'm going to be trying to get, and totems were the top of that priority list. So a lot of my emerald spend, a lot of all of that stuff that I got would go towards trying to get new totems or to level my totems. Then from there, I'm able to get a lot of gold because I can go far in the dungeon. I'm able to get a lot of Titan potions, move forward like that. But yeah, gold is not an object to me anymore. Like I would trade it out because it's so easy to get. I get about in dungeon 40 million, 30 million per day just doing my regular grinding, if not more. Do you recommend to level up one branch in the Great Tree of Wisdom until the end before moving on to the next one, or do you level them up simultaneously? Great question there. So a little bit different there, Spooky. I think I made a mistake at the very beginning, and I leveled up one to max. And the reason I did that is because I just like maxing stuff out. I don't think that's the optimal strategy. I think the optimal strategy is to pick based off of like the heroes here and then get it up to 49 and then move on to the next. Because 150 is a big barrier, but it only offers one potential upgrade. Where here, if I upgraded this, I can now have another 4 upgrades right after that, which is worth it for the 100. And then if I did 120, which is the next level, I would be able to get even more stuff. So that's kind of my strategy there. Get up to 49, max out all the others, and then you can start picking which ones you should get to 50. Now, I say I made a mistake because I maxed out support and I maxed out mage. Not bad branches to max out, but I probably, if I changed it, I probably would keep those at 49, and I'd be higher in these two, which is the ones I'm going for. This is the one I'm focusing on right now, the warrior branch, just because Ishmael is becoming more prominent, and Lyria is obviously hugely prominent. How much Titan do you have daily? Yeah, I had gone over this earlier in the stream, but I was doing 4,500 daily, basically every day for the past 2 months. And then after that, I decided this is too much. I just can't. I'm dying. I lowered my daily goal to 2,500, 25, right around there, so that I can just live. But that still gets me a very solid amount of Titan potions per day and gold per day. Good questions. Keep them coming. All right. Let's keep on going through the stuff. I need to upgrade one hero with 4 skills. Let's just do Alvanor. Doesn't really matter here. I have this down pat. I know exactly what I'm trying to do each day, which also helps. And I know what I'm upgrading each day. There we go. Upgrading armor. We're going to just do one random gift of the elements. Doesn't matter to me. Don't care. How would you recommend getting every totem before increasing each totem's starter max? So I played Hero Wars. I've been playing for 2.5 years now. I started in February of 2023, I think. Let's see. February 2023, yeah. And for how do I get every totem? So I focus almost all my emeralds for the most part. And this was only whenever good events were around. I focused almost all my emeralds right here. This Alter the Elements is going to get you totems. Right? You spend enough, it will get you totems. I've had some luck where I've gotten from some free as well. But if you spend this, I remember one day I actually opened free and I got 2 in one day. It was crazy, and it was no spend. Yeah, it is exhausting in the dungeon. But this is where I usually spend emeralds. Now, I say that, and it's kind of important to note, this is if you're going to be a moderate spender. It's really hard to do this as a free-to-play player. But with the Tournaments of Power now, you actually have a much better ability to get emeralds for free. So it's still possible. It is absolutely possible if you can get free emeralds here, lessen your emerald spend on other places, and focus on Titans and totems, that you can pretty close to max them out. So I have these 3 maxed out. This one, as soon as tomorrow hits, I'm going to level this one up. Someone mentioned on one of my videos, they're like, how are you not going crazy on this? Yeah, I'll level this one up, and I think I can level this one up probably 3 times with the amount of gold trophies I have, something like that. So everything will be maxed except for this one. That doesn't include Totem Fusion, because that That's a whole nother beast. Okay, I need some advice regarding my Titan upgrade. Currently, I am focusing on the Watertight team. For other elements like Fire or Earth, level up tanks or Super Titans first. I like to have those hand in hand. Tanks and Super Titans are basically the same. What I would try to do here is it depends on if you're trying to go far in the dungeon or you're trying to create a second team for PvP. If you're trying to create a second team for PvP, only focus on one. I would recommend Fire. If you are trying to go up in the dungeon, focus on the tank and the Super Titan on both equally. And get them to a decent spot. Get them to 130 with maybe a few skins that have a little bit of stuff. That way you can keep on going far in the dungeons. Yeah. I'm going to talk about Totem Fusion in just a little bit, but let's go ahead, grab all this stuff. Yeah. All right, we should be able to grab this. Create that last one. A lot of stuff there. Let's look at the bonuses. I usually do this way before today or way before this time frame. So this is like, I already feel like I'm on a late start. Portal Anomaly is pretty much finished. I'm not doing anything more there. It's not that great of an event. Oh, a lot of stuff here. Let's go ahead and do this one. I could probably wait on this. What am I doing? What am I doing? I can wait on this for 2 days. I shouldn't have opened those. Oh, well, that'll be fine. Heal your heroes, 80 in adventures, defeat Phobos in campaign. All right, I like to do these two both at the same time. So got to find where a Phobos is. And I usually try to look for one that is something that I need or the best resource I possibly can get. Where are you, Phobos? Might be in 7 or 6. Is it that one? No. There's another one that's good. Sadly, I actually need World Tremors, so I'm going to do this one. Let's just go ahead, quickly win. So some said me that I fire totem, so I will get future fire totem too. Is it right? Yes and no. So if you have one fire totem right now, and fire is your strongest team, meaning it has the most amount of power overall, and this is with the Titans, the most amount of Titan power, then your second totem will be fire. That is correct. After that, it is not going to be fire. It's going to be completely random. The game basically says we're going to give you your first 2 totems, which are relatively cheap emerald-wise. I would suggest everyone gets those. They're going to be the same element as long as that element is the strongest. Then after that, it's going to be random. So yeah, it's kind of true, but for a beginning player, then after that, it's not. Okay, those both should be done. Cool. We're going to wait on that. Heal your heroes for 80,000 in adventures. Guess we can go ahead and join an adventure here. Oh, nice. We have a 13 that is available. Let's jump into that. I've talked about this in other videos. I will continue to emphasize this. Always pick at 13 as soon as you possibly can. I know it doesn't give you that many more resources, but it gives you more pet potions. More pet potions means you can change into more rewards whenever the secret wealth shop comes around. It is definitely worth it. Don't be lazy and take the 12 route. Don't do it. Take the 13 route. It's not that much harder. Well, it kind of is, but you can figure it out. Work with your guild to make sure you know a good path that your team can do. And once you get a little bit more heroes, then you can do more. Now, the reason I use this team is actually kind of specific for adventures. Aurora, magic, dodge. Celeste, magic. Zhu, physical. Sebastian, pure. Nebula, just boosting. This team basically will beat almost any other team as long as you have it maxed in the adventures, because it has a mix of all of those. And there's a lot of these that say like minus 90 damage reduction for physical health, or minus 100 for magic health or magic damage, something like that. This team will still be able to do damage regardless because it does all the types of damage. Now, against PvP, don't recommend it. It's not a good idea. Having a mix the best synergy because you want like Celeste increases magic damage, are going to get increased by magic damage as well. So, but against the adventure, against the whenever that pediment comes around too. Great Storm, pretty solid team. All right, let's keep on going. As I've said, I've always prioritized totems. Like that was kind of my thing. I wanted to be a strong Titan team early, and I do kind of hold a belief that they're going to integrate Titans more and more into the game. How so? I don't know yet. But what if they have an area of conquest for Titans? Like, that's going to be big. Having a good Titan team is going to be very big there, right? Don't know if they ever would do that. What if they did a mix? That would be kind of cool. So if I use Titan Spears, I can't get the next one, or do I have to use Emeralds? No, it would work the same. Even just your next totem, regardless, is going to be that. I would here's what I say on that. Let's quickly go. It's a good question, and this is a good call out for any new player too. Totems, Hero Wars. If you have a Titan or a totem artifact, do not use it until a certain point. And let's see here. Does it say? No, this one doesn't. Does it? Emerald spend. Here we go. I think this will probably do it. Yeah. Okay. So for your first totem, all you have to do is spend 4,500 emeralds. That will get you your first totem guaranteed. After that, it's only 45,000. That is one win in the Tournament of Power, whether it's Titan or Hero. So if you have this is easy to get, or relatively easy to get. Even free-to-play players can get this. If you have a totem sphere in your inventory, do not use it until at the very minimum, this is finished. Because then you see that it requires a significant more amount of emeralds to get your next guaranteed totem drop. So you always want to have these two done before you start using any of those random type or totem summonings, right? So always get your first two with either freebies or emeralds beforehand. And whenever I say freebies, I'm talking about the actual spheres. But you can get it for free too. It's possible. Just a low chance. All right. Pretty easy here. Buy. And we'll win this final one. And that should also get me the adventure that I needed to go in the season quest. I'm kind of excited for this Lara event that's coming up, /Chaba. I'm interested to see what the Sears game is. I really don't hope they put it behind like a skin behind a paywall that you're not going to be able to get. I could see them easily doing that, though. I could definitely see them doing that. Kind of seems to be their MO. Okay, upgrade that. All right, let's keep on going. I'll do a quick check on Asgard, see what the Astral Seer. Mage is pretty solid. I don't think I need a ton of these Radiant crystals, though. So I'll probably pass on that. I'm looking for intelligence crystals. And looks like my team did beat the 150. We are not going to beat the 160. That's what I got yesterday, 69. 69 million damage. Not bad. Hall of Fame. Go ahead, claim some free emeralds there. While I'm doing this, going to open some of these spheres. Cool. And do my daily stuff here. Going to upgrade that once, and I'm going to buy 180 exactly of these. Why 180? That's the guild prestige amount. You need to buy 180, and this is the easiest way to do it. These Titan artifacts, you should be getting 180 a day via the Tournament of the Elements, or close to it. and use those there. Make sure you can get guild prestige so that you can keep on moving forward, and getting the free adventure per day, which is massively valuable. Massively, especially if you're a new player. It is crazy valuable. Okay, I think I did most of these tasks. Let's see. Probably haven't spent, yep. But pretty much they're all done. Let's go ahead, grab all those. Looks like we got some more stuff. Cool. I'll always take freebies. Don't usually like grabbing energy halfway through, but I'm going to do it anyway since I'm on stream. What I mean by that is I usually like to wait until the energy goes one more. And then at the 6-minute mark, whenever it's resetting, I'll grab that just so I have even less time for energy. Again, that's something very, very, very small. But over time, I guess it can add up a little bit. But that's what makes me one of the crazies. Okay. Spend that. We can go back into this. Let's go ahead and do another attack. Let's try this team. For the most part now, I don't train Grand Arena teams. I won that one. I could, but I usually still am, by the end of the day, able to get first with just keeping these teams and just moving them around to fight who I think are the best. So, cool. All right. Done with that, done with that. Let's go ahead and grab these collectibles. All those insignias. We still have this Demon Dolls event. Those are nice. That's what I was going to do. Let's go ahead and buy in the shop. Book of Prophecies, yes. Don't need that. I'm going to buy Unity of Extremes. Don't need all the rest of the stuff. Actually, I might need that. Let's go ahead and buy the Demigod's Wrath. This, I think I have a ton of them. Creator's Feathering. I'm pretty sure I have a ton of them. 8. Yeah. Don't really need that. Especially since I don't know the next agility Titan or hero I'm going to level up. Flaming Heart. Buy that. Heridian Helm, definitely. Dragon's Heart, definitely. The others, I don't really need. Trine, absolutely. Love Trines. Simon's Enlightenment, love that. All-Seeing Eye. Pretty sure I don't need that, but I also have a crazy amount of those soul coins, so why not? And then, yes, absolutely want Lamort's card. We'll keep on taking Dragon's Heart, too. We'll buy these because I still have a lot of Outland coins. Just as kind of a general aside, Outland coins should only go to Skinstone chests. That's just my opinion. I know you can buy this stuff, which is also nice, but you're going to need Skinstones for more than equipment for the most part. Guild War Shop. Don't really look at that much each day. Doesn't matter. Okay. We do not have any PvP that we can do today. That's because it is Saturday and we ranked first again. That's our usual rank. We usually win by a decent amount. We haven't lost a guild war in about, I don't know, a year and a half since I've been part of this guild, or close to it. We might have lost some at the very beginning. We do lose COWs though. We do lose those. I think I've already used all my attacks. Yeah, I have. Let's take a look at the log real quick. I think I did those yesterday. Yeah, here we go. 3 attacks against 3 different people, all successes. You need a lot of teams to do COW. You need a lot of teams. You need a lot of heroes to do it successfully. All right, dungeon time. Everyone's favorite. So, my goal here, as I mentioned, I try to get around 2,500 on a daily basis of Titanite. Reason I do that is because I want to get these Titan potions, as many as possible, and these Titan soul stones will also change into Titan potions. So I usually try to speed up as many battles as I can, while knowing which Titans and which abilities to use so that they stay at max health. I'm not even looking for the fast as possible. I'm looking to see what can I do for them to stay at max health, right? If that means slowing down a fight and not using Titan special abilities, I'll do it. I'll slow down a fight. It doesn't matter if I have a water totem that's healing them, right? The healing could be doing more healing than their damage is doing damage. In that case, I'm winning, right? It's allowing me to go further. Here we go. Oh, I forgot to talk about Totem Fusion, didn't I? Let's get into that. Let's get into that right after this battle. Okay. Totem Fusion. I have gone ahead and I've upgraded 2 totems. Just with I use 10 catalyst each. I said, whatever skill happens, it's just going to be help me out a little bit. It's better than no skill. For 10, I'll take whatever. So I got on this one, I was trying to get this Last Flash. Instead, I got the Murmur of the Crags. It's okay. Not great because it's low rank. But then the one I wanted was this one, the Primal Zeal. I have a feeling this probably could be the best Totem Fusion, just because it will potentially give you some energy, and that potentially could turn a battle. Imagine if that is the difference between if you have a Water Titan team, Sigurd ulting, or him just dying. If he ults, then he stays alive for, another 4 or 5 seconds. All the damage is not happening to the rest of your team. It's happening to him, or most of it, unless it's an AoE attack. And that could absolutely change the course of the battle. Do I participate in the Tournament of Power? Like the Titan Tournament of Power? Yeah. I try to win every single one. Last Flash. That's the one I wanted for this one. Last Flash. I think this was one of your questions earlier. What is the best Totem Fusion for a fire? Right now, I'm leaning towards Last Flash. Why? Because if Moloch can get off another stun in a battle, your team's probably going to win. The stun that Moloch gives off can stun 2 Titans, potentially, if it's not the tank, or if it is the tank, probably just one, for a decent amount of time, and it will allow him to go and kill them pretty quick. So I've found that this is the best one so far. So can Light Totem keep your Titan alive after Last Flash? That's a really good question. You're talking about like timing it, using this like with let's say a fire totem, right? Using this, it says it cannot drop below 1. Then using the water or like the light totem as soon as this one's about to end. Haven't tested that. That's an interesting question. If it could, that would make it like even more powerful, right? That would make it even more powerful, because then your guy stays alive for an extra 10 seconds or whatever, and he's just going and crushing. Yeah, that could be really good. And then I also tried to get the Primal Zeal here, but it actually gave me this one, which is Call of the Elements, which is also not bad for a fire team. Your fire team is going to die pretty quick. Like they're not designed to stay alive. They're designed to attack and kill faster than they get killed. So the Call of Elements could be pretty good. I don't know yet. The reason I wanted this one is because in the Tournament of the Elements, I was getting beat. My best teams were getting beat by fire teams because they had this thing. It is so annoying. And if it's annoying, that's probably because it's good. So another question, what's the best fusion for light and dark totems? Good question. So right now, I haven't upgraded mine. I am thinking for light, at least in the primal, it is definitely going to be this, Call of the Elements. Why? Because it's going to be because of the buff that the totem does, right? It doesn't allow you to die for a certain amount of time. So if you can manually use this at the right time, all your Titans who are very low on health, which it could be all of them, will be getting a lot of additional attack because they're so low on health. And that can be, again, the difference between a win and a loss. So I do have a favorite for light in particular. That would be the Call of the Elements on that side. Now, if I am going into the Elemental, there are a few that I like. If you want to get the extra healing, you can do Depth's Whisper. The other one I like, just because light doesn't have a ton of damage, is this Flame Dance, right? I think Flame Dance could be a lot of fun. Last Flash could be okay, but it doesn't really work as well with the light tank totem or the light tank. So it still could be okay. I just haven't seen it be the best. This will be good for any time, it seems like. As long as like you get it off, and then Wrath of the Depths. I haven't seen this one be that great yet, but they have changed it recently, so it could. I think they made it more damage. So if it does increase the damage significantly, then I could see that being good. But right now, I think for light, mine would be Flame Dance and the Call of the Elements. Now, I do want to say this is also dependent. I think it will probably be different if you're doing a 4 light team compared to a 2 light team, right? Both will still get the totem, but what is the totem's maximum effect going to be? So that's important too. Last Flash and Call of the Elements does seem like Light Totem and Call of the Elements plus a speed boost of Last Flash. Yeah, a little bit. If you can get it to proc and it does work where it doesn't die even if you manually time it, Last Flash could be really good. Having a Titan alive for an extra 10 seconds, that's super powerful. Yeah, that'd be really good. That would be really good, especially if it has that Primal Zeal on it, right? Imagine like 10 of the max buff with, or I'm sorry, Call of the Elements, not Primal Zeal, Call of the Elements. That could be pretty devastating. As for Dark is a little bit more focused on dealing damage. So they don't have the necessity per se of having to do like Flame Dance, even though I think Flame Dance is good. Doing more damage is never going to be a bad thing. But for Dark, I probably would be thinking something like Death's Whisper. So just healing other totem Titans because they don't have anything that heals. Flame Dance could be pretty solid. Last Flash probably going to be pretty good too. And then Primal Zeal is what I would be going for. They don't really have shields, so this Echo Aegis not going to be the best. This is probably best for Earth. Pulse of the Ancients. They're not a healing team, so an allied Titan uses an ability. It is healed. Like I guess it could be because it's regardless of the ability, but I don't know. I still like Call of the Elements and Primal Zeal the most out of all those. That seems to be my favorite in Primal so far. We'll see if additional testing and if I run into different stuff, if that changes. But that's kind of my thoughts on that. It's not definitive yet. There's still a lot up in the air. Still a lot up in the air there, especially with the changes they made this week. All right, getting back into the dungeon. Your recommended logic is to amplify the default element skills or complete it by what they are missing. Usually it depends. Usually it is going to be like a lot of the abilities that I like are amplifications of special abilities of like the totems abilities, not necessarily the Titans. Like I don't think it's necessary to have a Dark team that can heal. I don't think so because they're pretty good at just dealing damage, right? So I don't think you necessarily need that. But at the same time, like I don't think you really need more damage. So you got to figure out what's the best. I don't think there is one thing that is quote unquote the best yet spooky. If I had to guess, I would say that like if you do a fire, then an extra fire there, I think that could be really effective. I think that could be really effective. Yeah, same logic with hero flags. Yeah. I like the ones that are going to amplify what I'm doing. Like, for example, I have one flag, and someone asked a question beforehand today on one of my videos asking what they thought the best flag was for an Aurora team. And I am very, very strong that it's this. Aurora just thrives on energy. and anything that increases energy gain for her is great. So this flag is by far the best. So amplifying that is going to make them even better. But it also depends, right? Like the fire totem. If you do a ultimate and you have the fire totem and you have the fire totem fusion, is that going to kill the opponent, or is that going to leave them like with 1 strength or 1 health, whatever, right? Or low health, but not kill them? If it doesn't kill them, it's not really worth it. If it does kill them, it's absolutely worth it. They don't seem impactful. Yeah, they probably won't be. Watch him be like really good against Lyria. That'd be funny if he's like just crushes Lyria. I have a 2-star fire totem and 2 Titan or totem spheres. Should I increase the fire totem stars or get other totems? If other totems, any recommendations? Retsbu, are they? Do you get to choose? Are they absolute, or is it just a random one? If it is absolute, meaning you can choose 100%, 100% choose the same one. 100%, no question. I don't care. I don't care about dungeon. It's going to help so much more in PvP and get you so much more further. They're absolute. Go 100% fire. 100%. Not a question for me. I tried to get my water to max first before anything else. I didn't even really want the other ones. I had a little bit of bad luck in the totems that I got not being water until like almost all of them were maxed anyway. So boom, max health. What I try to do in these Titan fights too is I try to have them all at max energy at the end of them if I can. Yeah, sure thing. MS Creator, Aurora, Nebula, Orion, Augustus, Dorian for this team. How should I level up Artifact for Nebula? Good question. So let's take a look at the artifacts. Where are you, Nebula? There you are. Okay, we got this physical attack, dodge and health, and agility. It's right here, dodge and health. Nebula needs to survive to make sure that she can keep on boosting people. This is the most important. This one has a chance of not being important, especially for that team that you mentioned. Physical attack is not really going to do much for you. You know, you have an Aurora, Nebula, Orion, Augustus team. That's all magic / pure damage. Not going to help. Then, so in that particular team, I'm going the Book of Illusions, Ring of Agility, Unborn Stars. That's the priority for her in that case. If you're using Nebula with a Dante team, that changes. Or a Lyria team, anything like that. All right, now here's a good example. We have any Titans can fight team. First one we got here. Now these ones, unfortunately, I can't do fast. I'd love to put it up to 5 and do that, but I need to do these in manual mode. This is what takes the long time in the dungeon each day, because I want to make sure all of these people are healed. So I'm going to go ahead. I do specific abilities at specific times. He's going to do his ability, and then I'm going to use this Nova ability right when Silva is about to fire, because that's an AoE and will do a lot of damage versus my healing. So you can see there, most of my Titans are fully healed, and I can keep on moving on. Book seems most important unless the weapon artifact is armor or armor penetration. In some cases, yeah. It depends on what the book is, too, for the skills. Some books are not very good. How many healing spheres does Iari send out? I think just like 2. Let's see. I know like the alt for Iari is it sends it to 1 hero. I know that because I do that in the dungeon all the time. Oop, what am I doing? Yeah. So, okay, it's just 1 at a time. It's just it's just going to target the lowest health ally and boost their attack and heals them. Yeah. I'm too patient with dungeon fights? Probably. Probably. Dungeon fights, I hate them. But see, like I'm talking to people while doing them, so it's a little bit better. You know, I can just quickly click to battle. I can look, I can talk, auto. I don't even have to think about it now. You know, it's just going. For Dorian, same like Nebula. Yeah, I think Dorian has a weird one. Isn't Dorian physical attack too? In that case, yeah, absolutely same. But here's the thing too. I would still probably deprioritize Dorians on that team because a lot of Dorian's value is going to be from that one ability. So having a strong Dorian is a lot less important than having a strong Orion or a strong Augustus. When I buffed Yari with Ignis, it boosted more than one at the same time. Well, it can boost one and then go to the second lowest health if that one outpaces the other, right? So like if you have a tank hero that's like low, but then the secondary person is also low, the tank will get above them, and then Yari's will focus on the other one. That's what I would assume happened. I have an Earth Totem 6 stars. Congratulations. Water Totem 1 star. If Lara Croft give me Absolute Fragment, what should I choose to get? Water or light and dark? I don't know if that make Earth team better. Good question. So I would probably go for a dark team. I would probably go for a dark. I think I like dark a little bit more than light. Now I upgraded light myself. That's what I did. I probably wouldn't do that. I think Tenebris is better than Solaris. So because of that, I would probably try to do a dark team. And one of the things about the Earth teams is they don't do a ton of damage. So dark team can kind of help in that aspect too. But I don't think it is such a strong preference that, like, let's say in the meantime, if you just kept that, right? If you kept the Absolute Fragment and you decided, hey, let's go ahead and figure out which one I'm going to get first, right? And let's say you get a random water or a random light and 2 random lights. Then I'd probably say go light because you already have 2. I don't really like starting one with an absolute. I guess that's my best answer. I don't like starting a new totem with an absolute. I like to see what my luck is going to get me and then go with that one. Make that one strong. Okay, we can go ahead and do that. Shield, wait for you, and kill you. Boom. And clean up there. Done. Heals. Keep on going. That is the nice thing about starting with Water Team. You can get far in dungeons because you can heal other Titans during these all-Titan battles. That was kind of my strategy whenever I started. Everyone said, do a Water Team. They're the best in PvP or good in PvP, and they're the best in dungeon. So I said, okay. I didn't know what I was doing. So I said, okay, I'll do a Water Team. Sounds good to me. Has been good. I do like it. I do like the Water Team. I think Fire's more fun. I like Fire. Fire teams are good. Just so much damage. I think my preference is for Fire and Tenebris. I think that is my most fun team. I am hoping the Totem Fusion, even though I'm not a huge fan of it, I am hoping that it gets to a place where the people who are like the fusion abilities make Titan fighting just more interesting, right? And I hope they add more modes. Like the Tournament of the Elements, like is it PvP? Yeah, I guess so. But it's like it's not like if I do a defense on Tournament of the Elements, I'm like, yeah, I did it. In fact, it's kind of being a dick to do a defense on Tournament of the Elements, just because it's stopping people from getting further. Boom. Thank you. Clean up and get healed. So many are starting with Water Team, which makes Earth more dominant. You can think of it that way too. Earth's probably my least favorite team. Well, okay. To be fair, I can't say that. I haven't done like a full light team. That could be my least favorite team, a full light team. Yeah, that Earth Totem really does counter Araji. Like if you're fighting, if you're doing a fire versus Earth, make sure you do it manual after that totem goes or before that totem goes, because if Araji is attacking that totem, he's just going to die, and he's going to die pretty quick. We'll keep on doing this. Right now, I've been only fighting with my fire team. So I always start with Hyperion doing his thing. As soon as damage is about to happen to Sigurd, I put up a shield. As soon as that's down, I do Mayari. And now I can also do a Moloch's ult to stun. Do that instantly. I'm not going to even put up his shield again because I want to save the energy for the next battle. And then do Nova as soon as this one starts bending down. Silva starts bending down. And that gets you what I think is the best chance. I heard that Earth brings some unpredictability with fight and outcome. That's absolutely true. But it's not really Earth, it's just Eden. Eden does that by pulling a different Titan down each time. But unpredictability is good. You want to be, especially on your defense, you want to be unpredictable. So Eden can be very good defensive Titan. Just because he can pull someone down that's vital, and that can change the course of the battle. All right, so now we have a chance. All my main element heroes are fully healed, so I'm going to go ahead and use Tenebris here. Eden can protect the enemy team sometimes. Yep, can do that too. That's true. That's the unpredictability of it. Boom. There we go. Eden can keep Tenebris from Flame Swirl or something like that. Oh, like drag him down right before that happens? What do you mean? All right. I'm right now, like, I'm 400 in, right? I guess I haven't really been trying to go fast in the dungeon yet. But I'm 400 in, and I do 2,500 daily. That kind of gives you an idea. About 2 hours. I'm not going to live stream all this. Dungeon is boring. It's crazy boring. Let's see, we're 9 minutes there. Let's go ahead and see if I can take first place, unless it's one of my guildies. Come on. 6-2. 3-2. There we go. 1. Tenebris keeps attacking while she's underground. And boom! See how easy it is to get number 1 in Grand Arena? I'm kidding. It's very hard. You can't do it unless you have really good teams. What about Earth Titans? Best combination, like 4 Earth Titans and Tenebris, or Solaris, or 3 Super Titans? I'm kind of the opinion that a 4 Earth team plus probably Tenebris is going to be pretty solid. Or if you wanted to do 3 Earth and then Tenebris and Mort, something like that would be pretty good. Not the auto attack, only the ability, right? Okay, yeah. You're talking about whenever she's underground. Yeah. Yeah, the nice thing about fire is if you have a little bit of a longer battle with fire, which is kind of rare. But if that totem goes off twice, like the other team's just screwed, especially if it's at max. It just is so deadly. 4 Earth plus Arashi is pretty good too. Really, you can pretty much add any super in there, and 4 Earth plus that is going to be pretty solid. I can't say there's like one best team. Teams counter each other, right? There's not one team that's going to win every bite. Not one team at all. Especially with the fusion that's happening. Oh, I forgot to show everyone something. I'll do that on the next go around. Should only take a little bit. So I've been doing math, and what I have noticed is that for every 10 of these battles, right, which is considered like kind of one level, it takes me about 3 minutes on average. So I do about 400 of those. So 40 times 3, 120, about 2 hours. Beforehand, it was significantly longer whenever I was trying to get literally the max until I died. It was usually like 4 hours, which is just, it's too much dungeon. 2 hours is too much dungeon too. I'm not going to debate that. But I do want to make the point, dungeon's very important, even if it's boring. These Titan potions are going to help you. 50 is not that much. But if you get 50 a ton of times, it will be that much. There we go. We'll keep on fighting with fire. Usually Moloch has 3 fights in him before he dies, but there's also ways to stop that. You can just remove him from the fight. Like here. Like, let's see. Okay, he actually has 1 more fight in him before he dies. Like, he won't die here. He'll get very close. But if he was going to die, and it was projected he was going to die, I would just remove him and fight with 3. Vulcan wouldn't die. Then if I still don't have anything to heal, then I would remove Vulcan too. And then it would just be Araji and Ignis. And usually I can do 1 battle without either of them dying. So there's kind of ways to keep these alive. So now, like, okay, he's pretty hurt. But luckily we don't have a tank in the front, so they're not going to hurt Moloch. Boom, boom. Now we can do that, and we'll do that. And as soon as he bends down or she bends down, and hey, Moloch's at full health again. Ready to keep on going. Okay, so this is what I was going to show you. Someone asked me, how do you have so much gold? Because of this. I'm getting 773,600 each time I go 10 levels. That's a lot of gold. One time, not that much gold. Decent amount. Keep on going. You do 40 of those levels, 40 times 700,000. That's a lot of gold each day. Can't really spend it. Gold becomes worthless after a while. Yeah, that's the full tower, right? Full tower gets you about maybe over $1 million if you hit some of the money ones. Yeah. I probably should have hit Nova there, but I was looking away. It wasn't, to be fair, I've been playing 2.5 years. It wasn't until 3 months ago that gold really started to become not valuable to me. So it took that long. And that's with me being, I pay a little bit. Not a ton, but a little bit. So it takes a long time. But then eventually, just like every resource, eventually every single resource, if you play long enough, will lose value. That could be 20 years. That could be 30 years. Who knows? But everything goes down in value the more you get of it. That's why totem stuff is so valuable right now, like the fusion stuff, because you're going to have an insane amount of that. to keep on moving forward. Just a crazy amount if you're going to try to max out everyone. I don't even want to think. I don't want to even think about how much it would take to max out one, much less like 5. I will say one other thing about the Totem Fusion. Make sure that if you're doing a team of like water and light and water and dark, have different abilities. They don't both proc if it's the same ability. So a light ability should be different than all the rest of the fire, earth, and water. Same thing for dark. Should be all different from fire, earth, and water. So if I have fire abilities as that one where he can't die for 5 seconds and gets increased power, I'm not going to try to do that for my light. Right? I'm going to try to do something else. How much Titan healing is reduced? So I get to the point where Titan healing is just starts to get reduced. Then I stop. That's what I had been doing. But I've gotten up to where it was reduced by 75%. And that's in the, once you get to like level 30, 38, 70, something like that. That's where it is going to go to, I think, 50%. And then if you get through that on like level 4,400, something like that, it will go down to minus 75% healing. If you haven't seen minus 75% healing, well, it's pretty bad. You're going to die pretty quick because this is the only way I'm staying alive. Yeah. All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up. I don't want to bore everyone with this dungeon. So I appreciate everyone jumping on. This was a lot more people than I was expecting, honestly. Love that people wanted to jump on and participate. You know, based off of this, I'll probably have more. I think I'll try to add some of these into my dailies, like maybe a weekly thing. I don't know yet. We'll see if I can start to do it more. But, you know, I do like trying to build up a community of people who are, you know, just trying to get as good at the game as possible. You know, it's a fun game. I really enjoy it. Otherwise, I wouldn't play. So might as well be around people that think the same. You said dark, good to add. One sec. You said dark, good to add to earth team for more damage, but that doesn't the light team do better damage than dark totem? So I don't think it actually does more damage. I'll have to check on that. I'm specifically talking about like the Titans too. There, where the Titans for dark definitely do more than light. Like let's take a look. Iari's special ability heals and increases an attack by 1. Solaris stuns and also does damage there. And then it increases the max and current health of allies by 6.7 until the end of the battle. Where if I went like with Mort, he buffs allies, granting them vampirism, which is kind of healing, and boosting their attack by 5% for each 10% of missing health, which is nice. Since Earth doesn't heal, like that could be really good, right? And then Tenebris. Tenebris basically curses a target, and man, he can be a tank killer if you put him if he's like fully buffed at the beginning of a fight. I do that in dungeon. He'll just like use his ability and down goes any tank. It's great. And then when an ally dies, each team receives 5% of their base attack and health. Yeah, so just strengthening up Titans. But let's see about the totems. They're not completely maxed out. Singularity, we got 2.6 million-ish. Explosion, 6 million. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But I think this is like a one-time thing. I think this is a multiple seconds. I think this is damage probably per second, maybe. I'd have to see. I'd have to test. I haven't tested that out. But it drags him to it and then damages him for each that amount as it goes. Is Iris worth it in the present? Pretty solid. Not as good as in the past. Like Iris in the past was really good because a lot of people were having trouble with Aurora, and it would basically allow them to attack the soul that Aurora exposed or the Iris exposed to kill her fast instead of having to deal with dodge or any of that stuff. Still not a bad hero. Can still be good against like Illyria, for example. Not bad. I will say I don't think she's as needed as beforehand, but I still use her on some teams. I still put her and Heidi together on some teams, depending on the team. If I'm looking for a fifth hero, backline hero, I sometimes pick her. She can be good. I don't think she's a must, but she's still a solid hero. She's good against Heidi. Attacks highest intelligence. Yeah, I don't know Spooky. I didn't know attacked highest intelligence. That's why I'm looking. I don't remember anything like that. I do know that like Cornelius does, right? Cornelius attacks highest intelligence. Oh, Amira does that too. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think Iris does though. Yeah, I was a little bit confused. It's just like, does the familiar attack the highest intelligence? That's what I wanted to look up. But this one does, right? Hits the enemy with the highest intelligence with monolith. Cornelius. Yeah, Cornelius sucks, by the way. Don't build Cornelius. This was my biggest mistake in Hero Wars, building him. I built him because I thought he was going to be amazing for my Osh team, stuff like that. He's not. He is, unless you have software that you can run multiple simulations, in which case he probably will be the best. He's not good. He's based off of just a bunch of chance. And I prefer more solid probabilities than that. How many of my heroes are maxed? Well, let's see. Are we talking fully maxed? Does that Osh team still work? Yeah, it still works, but you have to get lucky. Like I could put Cornelius in an Osh team, and that team could do 20 million damage. And yeah, those were all with cheats. That is 100% true. So for those of you that don't know, there was a Cornelius team that did like billions and billions of damage. That was because the people that were running those teams were using simulators and picking the best. Now, in very specific circumstances, Cornelius can be amazing against Osh. Amazing. Because he'll be critting all the time, but he has to use Sebastian's crit ability to do that. So it was really if that chance hit and it hit multiple times during the fight, then he would do an insane amount of damage, and then Albus would do an insane amount of damage too. I didn't know that whenever I was building him. I thought, oh, he's just like the best. Tested it out. And unfortunately, there's not any place to test with Osh. That's what they should create. They should create test for Osh and Maestro. That'd be amazing. Sebastian, Isaac, him, and Albus. Yeah, I think you also added Nebula. Nebula, and I don't even know if Martha was a part of it. I can't remember who we took out. Yeah, but he sucks. Don't build him. Don't do it. Not a good hero. As for maxed heroes, are we talking fully maxed? Like even here, Aurora is not fully maxed because the role branch isn't maxed out. But in terms of everything besides Ascension, which is the hardest thing to get, let's see here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not, but kind of, because I don't have the magic attack or magic defense. That's another conversation for another time. 13, 4. No, I actually don't have this one. So 13. Kind of the same thing here. Magic defense not upgraded, but he's maxed besides that. 14, 15, 15, 15. Oh, like fully maxed? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 fully maxed with including Ascension. Yeah. Most of the ones that are other than that, we're just waiting on the Tree of Wisdom. Right? Like that's the big thing. The great Tree of Wisdom. Yeah. The seeds. I did the math. I did the math. It was took you like 6 years if you didn't try to get the seeds from other events. If you just, and that's beating Osh, I think twice a week, and it took 6 years to max out all of that. So that's why, like, whenever those seeds are available, I do try to get them. Like Ascension to Asgard, I usually spend emeralds just so I can get more seeds. Magic defense on Isaac would help against Augustus more energy time. That's actually not true. And the reason that's not true is Isaac needs to take magic damage so that this thing gets upgraded and is able to ult. So the more magic damage that he takes, the better it is for Isaac. So you don't want magic defense on him because you want him to be taking magic damage. And Augustus actually moves that to pure damage. So that's really not good for Isaac. That's why against the Orion Augustus team, you need Sebastian, because Sebastian counters Augustus's ability to change it to pure damage, which allows Isaac to start to kill them. Yeah. But that keeps Augustus from converting. The magic defense? Well, like him lowering magic defense, you mean? Yeah, but if you don't have Sebastian, then eventually he's still going to get to the point where he just kills everyone because he's going to reduce it enough times, right? Even with higher magic defense. So when you started, which heroes did you upgrade first, and how many times did it take you to get teams to 1 million power? Yeah, it took a while. It took a while. My first original team was Aurora, Nebula, Celeste, Zhu, and amazingly Yasmin. That was my team. Wasn't bad at the time. Wasn't great. Has a lot of weaknesses that I didn't know. It took me probably about 6-7 months, maybe a little bit more to get to 1 million power, something like that. Took me a while. But I wasn't optimized at the beginning. Like if I could go back and play Hero Wars at the very beginning, I would change a lot of what I did. Number one, biggest thing, I would make sure I'm in the best guilds. I would constantly be trying to find better and better guilds. If you are not getting your summoning spheres on a daily basis, and what I'm talking about is right here. I'll show you in just a sec. Right here, you will get 5 summoning spheres. If you're not getting this on a daily basis, and you are not getting your activity bonus on a daily basis, you need to find a new guild. You want, like, this is so important. You think 7 great enchantment runes, that's not that big of a deal. 5 summoning spheres, that's not that big of a deal. You add that up over time, it's a crazy amount. It is very, very important you find a guild that is active. Keep on moving up in guild ranks. That's why I put that in one of my advice videos. Keep on moving up with better guilds. That way you can get the max stuff on a daily basis. Like, you need this stuff. You need it. All of it helps. Delaying the inevitable, I suppose. My current team is Aiden, Mushy Shroom, Dante, and Leon. Only 4? You only have 4 heroes for your main team, David? Aiden and Mushy and Shroom, I haven't seen that combo very much. Like, if I'm trying to beat that team right here, I'm putting out a Aurora, Heidi, Sebastian, probably Celeste. Yeah, definitely with Celeste now. If you have Martha, definitely Celeste. Let's like show you. Let's do some combat training. I'm going to max out your team. So we got Mushy and Shroom, Dante, Aiden, Dante, Martha. Where are you, Mushy and Shroom? And Leon. Mushy and Shroom. Leon. Ah, where are you? It's an interesting team. I will say it's unique. Yeah. I mean, it's unique. So it will for a lot of people that are not used to fighting like meta teams, they're going to be very confused, which is a good thing. So like if I was building this out, this is what I would be putting. Like these are the pets, right? You want Oliver, Kane. Unfortunately, Dante is not the best without a support to build him up, like a Nebula or Sebastian. Leon can be pretty easily counterable, but let's go ahead. Say you just have like a probably chorus to make sure you don't have negative control effects. We'll say you use the War Flag of Fervor, physical attack, probably armor penetration, and let's just do magic attack, something like that. Yeah, a while ago, Leon was really good. Now let's assemble attack team. If I was going to beat this team, I'm doing, let's say, this War Flag, putting Kane out there, putting Nebula out there. We'll do a Celeste. We're doing a Sebastian. And this is where whenever I say, hey, do you use Iris? Let's go ahead and use Iris. Let's go ahead and use Iris here. Yeah. Let's see how it does. See, right there. Now your Dante's pretty weak. My Sebastian's countering your Leon. And my team's not taking almost any damage. And you're about to see Heidi start to kill a lot of people because all the damage that's not happening. Yeah. See, I'm not even damaged here. No, that's not your fault. But if you know how to counter that team, it's pretty easily counterable, right? Pretty easily counterable. But it also is like if you don't know how to play, this team is going to do a lot of damage because if people don't know about Leon and what Leon does and don't use a Sebastian or a chorus, Leon will take over. But this, I'm assuming this is probably 100% team. Close to it. Yeah. I mean, that's another reason why I used Iris, especially with Aiden. Like using Iris is really good. Yeah, this is basically 100% team. So when you started, did you only focus on upgrading heroes, or did you upgrade the Titans too, resources wise? Great question. Yeah. So for the most part, I focused on both. But I did focus on, what quest did I do? Oh, I didn't do a quest. I was waiting for that, I guess. I was focused on both. I was spending more emeralds on trying to get totems than I was spending emeralds on heroes. My kind of, for the most part, my strategy is I will spend emeralds on heroes to get energy on a daily basis. But besides that, I will not spend that many emeralds on heroes. I think it's better to put it into Titans because that will make you as more of a differentiator in Guild Wars, which will help you get Guild War trophies, which will help you increase your Titans, which will help you do better in the dungeon, which will get you more gold, more Titan potions, which will get you stronger Titans to rinse and repeat, right? That's kind of my theory. Yeah. I probably spent a little bit. I didn't spend on items. I don't think I really spent on glyphs. I don't really spend many emeralds on glyphs. Definitely not Gift of the Elements. Not really any artifacts. I just let those come, and then I just waited for skins. I do spend some emeralds on Ascension because that takes the longest. Yeah. Is Ishmael relevant now? I've seen him in Medivh. Yeah, he's very relevant. He is very relevant. I wish I could go back and show you my log of Area of Conquest, because I was in the middle and I was facing 3 other teams that were top 50 in COW. So good guilds, like good guilds. Do you need to max his Ascension? Yeah. He does need to kind of be max Ascension to be like peak Ishmael. It really does help him. It really does. His Ascension is one of the things that took him to the next level. Definitely. But I had Illyria, Ishmael, Sebastian, Laura, and Aiden team. And that team was, I put that in the middle. And that team is actually not that strong on the first battle. But if you can find a team that it's good against counterable and then move to the middle and you have a charged Ishmael at the start, it will just chew through a lot of teams unless it's a specific counter, which is Astaroth and some magic heroes like a Polaris. Folio was actually really good against Ishmael. I saw some, what's his name? Alvinor, really good against Ishmael. But yeah, like that team, I think I had 15 to 20 defenses straight without losing a hero in the middle. So I was just racking up points for my team. We ended up winning, partly because of that. Ishmael gets countered a lot by Amira. Yeah. That is true. Amira's abilities right here. This one is no, it's not that one. Right here. All the critical hits end up missing the target during that time frame. So Ishmael's ability power goes down significantly because of that. That's, I think, just magic attack, and that one is, yeah, it's mostly this one, this Despot Fury. That's what counters Ishmael. And this thing will just do, another thing that this does too is this does a ton of damage right away. It's like kind of a one-shot damage thing. And that can one-shot Ishmael too. Which, if you bring Ishmael down in damage, he can like recover it fast because he gets extra health the more damage he does. Right? That's why it makes him so good in AOC, is he gets health the more damage he does. But if you do it in one fell swoop, then he can't do that. Yeah, see this? It increases his critical hit chance and attack speed, and he loses energy. But as he hits, he gets more energy. And he can dodge. And has vampirism. I do a lot of max testing, and somehow a Maya tank team defeated Galahad, Tristan, Lyria, Sebastian, and Laura. That I've seen a lot too. I've seen a lot of that too. I actually just did a combat with that. Let's see. 2 days ago, yesterday. Let's see if it's still in here in these logs. Yeah, right here. Right here. So I was just using my team that I used in AOC, which is the team that I was just talking about. Let's look at this battle replay. Oh, yeah. Maxing a hero during Tournament of Power? That's the goal. It gets easier the longer you've been in the game. You can't do that early in the game. You cannot do that. Right now, I have... Let's take a look. Let's actually just get these out of my inventory. I hate having a messy inventory. If I can use stuff, I want to use it. That's just me. But like right here, I have 1772 large skinstone chests, 11,000 skinstone chests. Like I can get basically any hero's skins to max. Not that I should, because I should like be only doing that if it's only going to help me. But you'll see that on my next hero tournament of power, I'm going to probably be boosting the rest of Astaroth's skins. I'll probably be getting Astaroth's artifacts to 6 stars, Morrigan's artifact to 6 stars, and then I will be working on leveling up Corvus. How long does it take? It gets easier the longer you go because you're going to have more resources that you can use for other heroes, right? And you have to choose on if you're actually going to max a character out on if you can win the Tournament of Power. If like I could have upgraded Astaroth even more last time, and I could have upgraded this last artifact with Morrigan. I chose not to. Why? Because it wouldn't have helped me in the Tournament of Power. And I didn't really need it. I wasn't going to use them yet. So why would I do it then? And I think I got third because I had 2 people go really hard at it. Like 300, 400,000. And I couldn't reach that. Like I have a pretty good idea of knowing what I can hit. I can usually pretty solidly hit 200 plus pretty easily in hero power. And Titan power, I can hit way above that, actually, because I have a lot more Titan resources. But yeah, it takes a while. Don't get frustrated if you're not able to do that. But you actually, anyone that's somewhat new actually has an ability I can't do. That's and this is probably the easiest way to win this is leveling up these heroes to 130. If you have just a ton of experience potions, leveling these up gets a lot of power. And all mine are maxed, so I can't do it anymore. That's how I won the first few. Can't do it anymore though. I've had to find other ways. And somehow a Maya team defeated, but it was like 2-to-1 win ratio. Yeah, you can have alternate tanks. You can have alternate tanks. One of my most fun battles. Let's see if I can recreate that one. I think it was like a Corvus Morgan Lyria team. Let's see. I think Sebastian was in it. I think Kiera was in it and Lyria. Where are you? Where are you, Kiera? There you are. Vex. I think it was something like this. But I had such a hard time on beating this team for whatever reason. Because I usually use Aurora to beat Corvus. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and use the armor pattern. And sure, armor penetration. Let's do that. I was having a very hard time beating. I can't remember if it was exactly this team, but it was something like it. It was something like that. I just could not figure it out. Then I decided to do a little bit something different. I did a Celeste tank team, a Celeste with Aiden team. And I think it was, I'm trying to remember if I did like a Merlin Augustus too and Nebula. This might have been it. I think it was. The whole point of this team was that they're going to be like killing Celeste pretty quick, but because Aiden gives her a lot more health, she's going to be able to heal herself quite a bit by doing this, right? But then she still heals. Now watch me lose this one. But it's a lot harder to kill her, so she's being like kind of a tanky. Yep, I lost that one. But let's see if it works. Maybe it wasn't this team then, but it was something like this that it started to work like 100%. When you are higher rank in COW, are there teams you just struggle to beat where you need to test a lot first? Rarely, but occasionally. Occasionally there are. Maybe I didn't have Aurora. Who did I have? I don't think I had Heidi. Did I have like maybe an Amira? I don't know. Maybe something like this. I have enough heroes that I can beat almost all teams. I feel confident I can beat every team. You shouldn't feel confident you can beat every team until, man, this is laggy as anything. I don't even know what's happening. You shouldn't feel confident you can beat any team until you have a lot of heroes. But the point is, and I know it's not working now, so it's not very convincing. But you can think outside the box on who you use as like kind of your first hero. What's the defense team? What's the defense team against what? The Galahad Tristan? Should just be this team still. Oliver, Fenris, Albus, Vex, Chorus. And then I have this flag of pet strength. I kind of have separated my pet flags, or my flags. This one's for physical attack, so it has physical attack, armor, penetration, and armor. This one's for magic and tanks, magic attack, physical attack, armor. I need to change this one so it has magic penetration. And then this one is just like a defense flag, magic attack, magic defense, armor. Yeah. What's the defense team for that? Like the team I was just facing, you mean? Well, let's keep on fighting it. Let's keep on fighting. Let's see if I can figure out what I was using. You know, I could actually see this team being kind of effective too. Let's throw this one together. Yeah, this is the undead team. As long as Ishmael can start ulting before he dies. Bye. Yep. He's going to kill. This is why Ishmael is becoming more of the meta. And one of the big things with his weakness is like the dodge. Like you could send out dodge heroes against him and it would hurt him a lot, or Amiras or something like that. But if you add Lyria to this team, then the dodge heroes are a lot less effect. So this isn't even 100% team, but it's like a 65, 75% win maybe. I don't know. Okay. Well, I am going to have to call it for today. Again, thanks so much, everyone, for jumping on. This went a lot longer than I thought it was going to go because people had questions, which I love. But we'll do this again in the future. If you haven't, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Helps the channel, supports the channel, helps it grow, allows me to keep on doing this stuff, answer questions. So, yeah, appreciate it, Spooky. I appreciate the support. Feel free to keep on asking questions on any of the videos I make. I try to be very responsive to anyone that's asking, just to help out as much as I can. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later.